if I were to look at the trends for what your target is, then I can tell you that if you are selling under the SEO words needle dispenser, then you are going to have a much higher success rate than if you are selling under anything to do with tattoos or tattoo needles. I can even add another search term. Let's get rid of one that showed no results. So if I was to try to look for data under cartridge needle dispenser, right? Like that doesn't show any search results. So I'm gonna remove this and I'm gonna make it say instead tattoo. So let's see if that gives us better search results. And this is letting us know the worldwide searches over the last 90 days. It appears like that is an inverted market. That's interesting. So if we were to combine the SEO terms, I would suggest needle dispenser as your primary SEO word and then tattoo as your secondary if your target market is actually tattoo shops. And we can look at the United States data. And I will tell you exactly why I am mentioning this, is because I don't know if your goal is to get as many people through your door right now into your tattoo shop, and that's your primary focus for the next 3 months, or if your goal is to sell as many of these needle dispenser cartridges to as many people as possible. Then if that is your goal, then I would suggest we redo your website, rebrand it so that it is appealing to anybody in any industry that uses needles. So that would include like mobile veterinarians, aesthetics shops, doctors. And if we look at this data here, I would suggest, and I'm going to remove, so you would have a lot of people looking for tattoo stuff. So maybe in Hawaii and Alaska would be some of your like good markets, right? But they're not really looking for needle dispensers, but maybe your goal is only to sell to like tattoo shops and become a brand authority there. That is very possible. So when we understand your target more, then we can go about it that way. But my suggestion, if your goal is to just sell as many of these needle disposal kits as possible, see like here how it's I'm sorry, these needle dispenser kits as much as possible. Needle disposal is actually related to what you're doing. So I would target my sales to these regions here because there are more regions. So I would target Oregon and California. Washington has a really high one. So I would target my sales ads efforts to these 3 states over here and probably actually to Washington. Probably has a lot to do with Seattle because it also overlaps with tattoo shops over here in Washington, over here. So if we look at Washington, yeah, see, like they also have a lot of searches for tattoos. So I would rebrand your website to make it appealing to not just tattoo shops, but anybody that might be using anything to do with the needle dispenser kits, and then have a subsection of there that really targets tattoo shops. And we can work on branding you as an authority. And that just means that you're kind of an influencer that talks about like safe disposal of needles, and then bring into that, well, it all starts with the way that you organize your needles or whatnot, right? So then you're able to target and appeal to all the tattoo artists in that form, but you're also able to appeal to other types of businesses that might be able to be some of your bigger clients in terms of the overall market that captures people that use needles. And so some of the other tools that I'm able to use is this is through WordPress, which it appears to be what was used on your website. So because I already know what my keywords are, I know that my pages are optimized for when someone types in solar to, for example, in this example, then I know that they're going to have a high likelihood of finding my page once it has enough time to organically work its way up. It takes about 3 months to see like super clear results because it's already optimized for that. And so I use different tools. This is the one you just saw is called Rank Math, and this one is called Meow Apps. And so it also tells me that it's doing pretty good. These are some of like the more commonly recommended AI tools right now, and there are going to be tons and tons of tools that are thrown at us that are claiming to be AI driven, but because these two are standard known to be really great, because these two numbers are pretty much aligning with whatever I was seeing over here on my individual pages and posts. I know that these are like a good baseline for comparing new AI products that might claim to be as good and cost less. For example, this one does essentially the same thing that the other ones did, but it claims to be a lot cheaper than this one. This one's actually like quite expensive. Um, and and this is the one where, and actually it's the one where I'm not able to see your site anyway. See, so like it didn't let me see your site. um, but when I look at this over here, this is basically giving me very similar information to what I see over here. And I wouldn't ask you to pay twice for something that I know you can just rely on one thing for. And I have a lot of YouTube videos where I compare products. And because my background is in data science and like and I am like an artificial intelligence specialist, like part of my personal mission is to make sure that as we're being told that stuff is AI driven, that it really is. Because I've worked at multiple startups where they claim to be AI driven and they're not, because there's actually just somebody in the background like doing stuff on the weekends, right? So what I want to do is make sure that we're picking the best products so that your money is used in what helps you the best. The other really important thing that I noticed is that when I look for your website, or when I look for needle dispensers, this is me locally, your website doesn't come up. And there are all these other places that do have needle dispenser shops that come up. So if I were to look up like tattoo, right? Like tattoo. Well, let me see if it comes up now since it's in my cache. And this might be because we're not anywhere near each other. I'm not sure where your location is. But see, like I don't see your tattoo shop coming up pretty much. And if your goal is to get as many people through your tattoo shop doors, which I'm still not clear, like, are you a tattoo artist or are you like a vendor for needle dispenser products? Like even looking at your website, and yes, I am one of those lazy people that looks at it for like 2 seconds and is like, what? I guess it's like just trying to sell needle dispensers. I see, like if you're also a tattoo artist and you need people in your door, then my suggestion would be like we target getting you to rank higher on this stuff. But if your goal is just to sell as many of these products as possible, then again, like rebrand your website a little bit and make one of your subcategories the tattoo artist inclined one. We can do A/B testing and target specific markets with specific audience types. If I actually know the name of your store, you do come up, right? So a tattoo cart does come up right away, right? Like it does come up at the top. So, oh wait, did I even spell this right? I thought I did, because it did come up. Yeah, I did. So if I even try to find, is it because I'm missing a T? Oh, I don't think I am. No, see, like that should have been your website. So it's kind of weird that it doesn't come up at all. So that's another thing I would work on. When I looked it up under a different, you see, if I looked at when I looked it up under here, it actually did come up right away. So that's a little bit interesting that it didn't come up at all. But again, like if I just search for needle dispensers, you're not gonna rank until we make sure that you've got like the right location, Google Business Sense, and the Google Business Profile stuff going. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is this is another tool that is free to use. Um, and actually, I have to use it on discount because I also paid for this like through OpenAI or like ChatGPT stuff. And ChatGPT is just a way of saying like yeah, it's like AI on the background in the background, but I could just as easily use a different one. It doesn't have to be like the Meta OpenAI. There's different ones for different cases, but I ran a check on your website and I was like, well, what would I need to do if I wanted to target people in El Paso, walk through my tattoo shop? Then, and it looks like you're basically just selling the kits, honestly. Like, I don't think you're a tattoo artist. I think you're just trying to get these kits to sell. I think so. This might be like something that you invented. Um, Again, I would, if you're just trying to make as much money as possible, I would maybe change this to not just focus on tattoo people, or maybe create a whole different domain that has a different URL. But if you were trying to get people to come to your shop and buy these now, I don't know if it was clear, but in the data, like there's just not that many people in El Paso that are looking for tattoo kits. Like that's just a fact, right? But this does, if you are a tattoo shop and you want people to come to your door, these are some of the Facebook ads that you can promote. We would be able to use these kinds of tools, right, to like help us generate ads. We would be able to also like get it to help us. Sorry, like this is a suggestion for what your landing page should maybe update to. We could also have tools that help us make sure that you are able to outrank. Okay, so then like outrank your competitors. And we're just going to see if we can outrank other tattoo shops that are selling dispensers. So then you are tattoo. Oh, maybe I did misspell it in the other page. Okay, yeah, it does have two T's. No, I'm sorry. Oh, and I misspelled it again. Oh, wait, let me stop this. Okay, tattoo art. I'm dyslexic, sorry. Okay, there we go. All right, so then it's gonna tell us, how can I optimize against competitors? So, oh gosh, sorry, this laptop is, oh, okay. So see, like it'll keep telling us a bunch of stuff. It'll give us an SEO strategy. And these are pretty new tools. Harpa has been around for a while. We could test them. I haven't seen why not to use Harpa. But I am also part of a bigger organization that where there's a lot of like super successful marketing agents. So if there's ever any hiccups, then I always have them as a resource to ask, because I paid for that membership. And the other thing I wanted to show you was, let's go back to here so that it's not because of my bad typing that we can't find here. Oh yeah. Okay, so if I know the exact typing, the exact spelling, the exact name of your brand, then yes, you do come up right at the top. So it looks like somebody did push some of these for you, or it's already coming up as the only one under that name. Again, like then this means that you need to brand tattoo cards as something that is a common household name, which I think is a little bit harder to do than if you start to target the audience that already exists, which is needle dispenser kits, and have their help leveraging promoting your specific product. So those are some of my recommendations, but my real questions would be the obvious, like what is your budget so that I can help you allocate as much of it as a bigger bang for your buck, right? And once I know your budget and I know the second question is, what are you trying to do right now? Is it to get more people to buy as many of these as possible? Is it to be a brand authority in how tattoo shops should be organizing their needles? Or are you open to selling these needle dispenser kits to anyone? And would you be okay with making your SEO words more about needle disposal and then piggybacking off of the needle disposal, which appears to be a much more commonly searched word, the needle dispenser kits, which is slightly different. So if you can let me know your budget and what your immediate goal is it to get people through your door? Is it to sell your product, or is it to only sell your product to tattoo artists? And I can give you a more meaningful strategy and we can have a conversation about that. Thanks so much. I think this video is long enough.